Inflammation, stubborn weight gain, and accelerated aging are not random events. They are the predictable result of a body under metabolic stress. When the mitochondria, the tiny power stations in every cell, slow down, your ability to burn fat efficiently collapses. Energy production drops, inflammatory chemicals rise, and the body shifts into survival mode. This creates a vicious cycle. More inflammation means poorer mitochondrial function, which leads to slower metabolism, more cravings, and faster aging. Most people assume this process takes years to reverse, but clinically we see that the body responds remarkably quickly when given the right tools, often within days. The foods you choose each day carry enormous biochemical power. Some foods ignite inflammation, destabilize blood sugar, and suffocate mitochondrial function, but others do the opposite. They switch on fat, burning pathways, quench inflammatory fires, and improve energy production at the cellular level. These are not exotic supplements or complicated protocols. These are simple science-backed foods that directly influence how your cells behave. They can lower oxidative stress, reduce toxic load, stabilize insulin, and repair damaged metabolic pathways far faster than most people realize. What is so compelling is how quickly the body responds when metabolic balance is restored. Energy becomes steadier, appetite normalizes, inflammation drops, and the biological age clock begins to slow. These improvements are measurable in reduced inflammatory markers, improved mitochondrial output, and enhanced fat oxidation. Most importantly, these changes are sustainable because they work with the body's natural design, not against it. Understanding these 5 foods gives you a practical, immediate way to regain control of your metabolic health. They require no complex dieting, no extreme calorie restriction, and no chasing trends, just targeted nutritional choices that speak directly to your cells and remind your body how to function efficiently again. Chronic inflammation is at the core of almost every modern health problem, and fat gain and accelerated aging are simply 2 of its most visible symptoms. When the immune system is constantly switched on, even at a low level, it releases inflammatory cytokines, chemical messengers designed to protect us from infection. In acute situations, these molecules are essential, but when they are produced day after day, month after month, they become biologically destructive. Instead of healing, they begin to interfere with normal metabolism, hormonal signaling, and mitochondrial function. This is why people can eat less, exercise more, and still struggle to lose weight. The metabolism is not lazy. It is inflamed, blocked, and overwhelmed. Inflammatory cytokines directly inhibit fat burning pathways. They interfere with insulin signaling, causing the body to shift into fat storage mode, even when calories are controlled. They impair leptin, the hormone that regulates hunger and fat release from cells, which explains why chronic inflammation leads to increased appetite, cravings, and stubborn fat around the abdomen. On a cellular level, inflammation makes the mitochondria produce energy less efficiently. When mitochondria become sluggish, the body senses an energy deficit and compensates by conserving fuel. The result is slower metabolism, reduced fat oxidation, and increased fatigue. This mitochondrial damage also accelerates aging. Poor mitochondrial function means more reactive oxygen, species ROS, are produced, unstable molecules that damage DNA, proteins, and cell membranes. As oxidative stress rises, the rate of cellular repair slows, telomeres shorten more quickly, and tissues age faster. This is not an abstract concept. It shows up as wrinkles, joint stiffness, declining energy, slower recovery, and reduced metabolic flexibility. Inflammation literally speeds up the biological clock by forcing cells to spend more time defending themselves than repairing and regenerating. Diet is the primary driver of this inflammation. Sugary foods, refined carbohydrates, processed oils, and ultra-processed foods flood the body with glucose spikes, toxins, and chemicals that disrupt the microbiome and trigger immune activation. Every time blood sugar rises sharply, oxidative stress increases, inflammatory pathways switch on, and insulin becomes less effective. These repeated insults push the metabolism into persistent dysfunction. The body becomes less capable of burning fat and more inclined to store it, not because of a lack of willpower, but because the biochemistry has been biologically rewired. Lowering inflammation reverses this process remarkably quickly. As inflammatory cytokines fall, insulin sensitivity improves, mitochondria begin to repair, and oxidative stress diminishes. Fat cells become metabolically active again, releasing stored energy more freely. Hormones such as leptin and ghrelin stabilize, making it easier to control appetite and maintain steady energy throughout the day. With reduced inflammation, the body is no longer in emergency mode. It can finally switch into repair, detoxification, and efficient fat burning. This is also why lowering inflammation is essential for longevity. The fastest way to slow aging is to reduce the internal chemical stress that accelerates breakdown. When inflammation decreases, mitochondrial output increases, cellular repair mechanisms activate, and telomere loss slows. These improvements are quantifiable in lower CRP levels, better blood sugar control, improved lipid profiles, and a more resilient immune system. People often describe feeling clearer, lighter, and calmer within days of reducing inflammatory load, a direct reflection of cellular systems beginning to function normally again. Food is the most powerful tool in this process because it interacts with the body every single day. Anti-inflammatory foods stabilize blood sugar, provide antioxidants, support mitochondrial repair, and deliver the micronutrients required for detoxification and regeneration. When chosen deliberately, food becomes a signal instructing the body to lower inflammation, increase fat burning, and restore metabolic efficiency. This is why so many people see rapid changes when they shift to nutrient-dense anti-inflammatory foods. They are not merely eating healthier, they are addressing the root cause of metabolic dysfunction. Understanding this connection gives you control. When you reduce inflammation, you simultaneously unlock fat loss and slow the aging process, because all three are governed by the same biological pathways. This is why the foods you choose matter more than any exercise, routine, supplement, or calorie count. By calming the inflammatory fires, the body naturally returns to a state of balance where fat burning, energy production, and cellular repair happen effortlessly. The first food that consistently demonstrates powerful anti-inflammatory effects is fatty fish, particularly varieties rich in omega-3 fatty acids such as salmon, mackerel, sardines, and trout. These fats are not merely calories. They are active biochemical agents that directly influence the pathways of inflammation and metabolism. Omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA-eicosapentaenoic acid and DHA-docosahexaenoic acid, are incorporated into cell membranes where they compete with pro-inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids. By doing so, they reduce the production of inflammatory cytokines such as TNF-alpha, IL-6, and CRP, molecules that, when chronically elevated, block fat burning and accelerate tissue aging. At the cellular level, omega-3s improve mitochondrial efficiency. Mitochondria require a healthy lipid environment to maintain optimal membrane fluidity and function. Omega-3 incorporation into mitochondrial membranes allows for more efficient electron transport, reducing leakage of reactive oxygen species. This lowers oxidative stress, protects mitochondrial DNA, and enhances ATP production. which translates into higher energy levels and more effective fat oxidation. In practical terms, this means the body can more efficiently convert stored fat into usable energy, while tissues remain protected from cellular damage that accelerates aging. Fatty fish also stabilizes blood sugar, another critical factor in metabolism. Chronic inflammation often impairs insulin signaling, making glucose uptake inefficient and forcing the pancreas to overproduce insulin. Omega-3s improve insulin sensitivity by reducing inflammatory signaling in muscle and liver cells, allowing glucose to enter cells efficiently and preventing the cascade of oxidative stress that accompanies hyperglycemia. This stabilization helps curb appetite fluctuations, reduces cravings for processed foods, and creates a metabolic environment conducive to fat loss. Antioxidant properties complement these effects. While omega-3s themselves are not classic antioxidants, they enhance the function of the body's own antioxidant defense systems. They increase the activity of glutathione and superoxide dismutase, key enzymes that neutralize harmful free radicals. Reduced oxidative stress means less damage to proteins, lipids, and DNA, preserving youthful cellular function and supporting longevity. Regular consumption of fatty fish has been shown in multiple clinical studies to lower circulating markers of oxidative stress and inflammation, directly linking dietary intake to improved metabolic health and reduced biological aging. The benefits are not limited to fat loss and mitochondrial support. By lowering systemic inflammation, omega-3s reduce cardiovascular risk, improve endothelial function, and support cognitive health. In individuals with metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, or chronic low-grade inflammation, these effects are particularly pronounced. For those struggling with visceral fat accumulation, fatigue, or age-related decline in energy production, incorporating fatty fish several times per week provides a clear evidence-based intervention that addresses root causes rather than merely symptoms. Practically, the most effective approach is to consume wild, caught fatty fish 2 to 3 times per week. Even small servings around 100 to 150 grams supply sufficient EPA and DHA to influence biochemical pathways significantly. For individuals unable to consume fish regularly, high-quality, molecularly distilled fish oil supplements can provide similar benefits, though the synergistic nutrients found in whole food may offer added advantages. Pairing this food with vegetables rich in antioxidants, along with moderate protein and fiber, enhances its metabolic impact and ensures a stable glycemic response. This food works universally, though its effects are most noticeable in those with elevated inflammatory markers, metabolic sluggishness, or early signs of age-related mitochondrial decline. By integrating fatty fish into a consistent, nutrient-dense diet, the body begins to experience measurable improvements in energy efficiency, fat utilization, and resilience against oxidative stress. Over time, these cellular benefits manifest as improved body composition, steadier energy levels, sharper mental clarity, and a slower progression of age-related decline, demonstrating why this first food is a foundational pillar in any strategy aimed at reducing inflammation, enhancing metabolism, and supporting longevity. The second food that consistently supports metabolic health and accelerates fat burning is eggs, particularly those from pasture-raised or free-range sources. Eggs are a concentrated nutrient package, providing high-quality protein, essential amino acids, and a spectrum of micronutrients including choline, vitamin B12, selenium, and iodine. These nutrients are not merely supportive. They actively influence metabolic pathways, hormone balance, and cellular energy production. Protein from eggs stimulates the thermic effect of food, meaning more calories are burned during digestion, and it supports muscle protein synthesis, which is critical for maintaining lean mass, the key driver of resting metabolic rate. Eggs also play a central role in stabilizing blood sugar and improving insulin sensitivity. The high-quality protein and healthy fats in eggs slow the absorption of glucose from the digestive tract, reducing post-meal blood sugar spikes and the associated insulin surges that promote fat storage. Choline, a vital nutrient found in egg yolks, supports liver function and lipid metabolism. A healthy liver is essential for mobilizing stored fat and converting it into usable energy, enhancing overall metabolic efficiency. By maintaining balanced insulin levels, eggs help regulate appetite hormones such as leptin and ghrelin, leading to reduced cravings and better satiety after meals. Mitochondrial function is directly supported through the B vitamins and antioxidants in eggs. Vitamin B12 is crucial for energy production at the cellular level, participating in the conversion of nutrients into ATP, the body's primary energy currency. Selenium and lutein provide antioxidant support, protecting mitochondria from oxidative damage and ensuring sustained energy output. With more efficient mitochondria, the body burns fat more effectively and sustains energy throughout the day, reducing fatigue and the tendency to reach for quick, processed sources of calories. Regular consumption of eggs triggers physiological changes that promote body composition improvements. Protein-rich meals increase satiety, meaning individuals naturally consume fewer excess calories without consciously restricting intake. Improved insulin sensitivity reduces fat storage and stabilizes blood sugar, preventing the cycles of energy crashes and cravings that sabotage fat loss. Enhanced mitochondrial efficiency allows for greater fat oxidation during both rest and activity, accelerating reductions in visceral fat and supporting lean muscle maintenance. These mechanisms combine to create measurable improvements in weight management, energy levels, and overall vitality within days to weeks of consistent intake. Eggs are also hormonally supportive. Cholesterol in eggs, often misrepresented as harmful, is the precursor for steroid hormones including testosterone and cortisol, which are critical for energy balance, fat metabolism, and stress resilience. Adequate dietary cholesterol ensures the body can produce these hormones optimally, supporting not only metabolism but also mental clarity, mood stability, and recovery from physical activity. For individuals with metabolic slowdown, fatigue, or difficulty losing fat, eggs provide a straightforward dietary intervention that addresses multiple root causes simultaneously. Practically, incorporating 2 to 3 eggs daily as part of a balanced nutrient-rich breakfast or lunch provides sufficient protein and micronutrients to influence metabolic pathways effectively. Pairing eggs with fiber-rich vegetables stabilizes blood sugar further and supports gut health, which indirectly contributes to improved energy regulation and fat metabolism. For those with specific dietary restrictions, egg whites can provide protein without additional fats, though consuming the whole egg maximizes nutrient synergy and mitochondrial support. By integrating eggs into a daily routine, individuals experience reduced hunger between meals, enhanced fat burning efficiency, and steadier energy levels. These metabolic improvements translate into improved body composition, diminished visceral fat, and a more resilient, youthful energy profile. The nutrient density, hormonal support, and mitochondrial benefits of eggs make them a foundational food for anyone seeking to accelerate fat loss, stabilize energy, and restore metabolic balance naturally. The third food that has a profound impact on cellular repair and anti-aging is broccoli, particularly when consumed lightly steamed or raw to preserve its bioactive compounds. Broccoli is rich in sulforaphane, a sulfur-containing phytochemical that functions as a potent activator of the NRF2 pathway, a master regulator of cellular antioxidant responses. By activating NRF2, sulforaphane increases the production of endogenous antioxidants, including glutathione, the body's primary detoxifying molecule. Glutathione neutralizes reactive oxygen species before they can damage DNA, proteins, and cell membranes, protecting mitochondria and slowing the biochemical processes that accelerate aging. Oxidative stress is one of the main drivers of metabolic dysfunction. When free radicals overwhelm antioxidant defenses, mitochondrial efficiency drops, energy production slows, and inflammatory pathways are triggered. Sulforaphane not only boosts antioxidant capacity, but also reduces inflammatory cytokines, stabilizing the internal environment of cells. By lowering oxidative stress, broccoli protects mitochondrial DNA and ensures ATP production remains efficient, providing steady energy and supporting fat oxidation. This means the body can burn stored fat more effectively while simultaneously preserving muscle tissue, a critical factor for maintaining metabolic rate with age. Broccoli also supports detoxification through phase Roman II liver enzymes. These enzymes conjugate toxins and oxidative byproducts, preparing them for elimination and reducing the overall toxic load that stresses mitochondria and slows metabolism. A cleaner internal environment allows cells to focus on repair and regeneration rather than defensive responses. The combination of enhanced detoxification and antioxidant activity directly contributes to healthier, more resilient tissues, improved skin elasticity, and reduced signs of aging. For example, reductions in oxidative damage help maintain collagen integrity, leading to smoother, firmer skin and a more youthful appearance. In terms of metabolic health, broccoli contributes indirectly by improving insulin sensitivity and stabilizing blood sugar. Sulforaphane has been shown in clinical studies to improve glucose regulation and reduce markers of insulin resistance. Stable blood sugar reduces fat storage signals, diminishes hunger fluctuations, and improves overall energy utilization. When insulin signaling improves, fat cells can release stored lipids for energy more efficiently, enhancing fat burning capacity and supporting favorable body composition. This dual effect, slowing cellular aging while improving metabolic function, makes broccoli a unique food in the context of longevity and weight management. Regular consumption of broccoli also enhances mitochondrial resilience. Mitochondria are particularly vulnerable to oxidative stress because of their high energy production and constant exposure to reactive oxygen species. By boosting antioxidant systems and reducing inflammation, broccoli ensures that mitochondria can maintain optimal function over time, improving energy efficiency and reducing fatigue. The combined effects on detoxification, DNA protection, and mitochondrial performance create a biochemical environment that favors repair, regeneration, and cellular longevity. Individuals often notice subtle but tangible improvements in energy, mental clarity, and overall vitality when this food is incorporated consistently. Practically, including a cup of broccoli daily, whether lightly steamed or raw, provides sufficient sulforaphane and supporting micronutrients to trigger these cellular repair pathways. Combining broccoli with other cruciferous vegetables enhances its effects, while pairing it with healthy fats improves absorption of fat-soluble compounds and antioxidants. Those with early signs of metabolic slowdown, visible aging, or stubborn fat deposits can benefit the most, as broccoli addresses root causes that conventional calorie restriction alone cannot resolve. By regularly consuming broccoli, the body experiences enhanced glutathione production, reduced oxidative damage, and improved detoxification, all of which slow cellular aging while boosting mitochondrial output. These biochemical changes translate into higher energy levels, better fat oxidation, improved skin appearance, and a more youthful, resilient metabolism, demonstrating why this third food is an essential component of any anti-inflammatory, fat burning, and longevity focused dietary strategy. The fourth and fifth foods that have profound effects on metabolic health, inflammation, and longevity are fermented vegetables and bone broth, a combination that works synergistically to restore gut integrity and optimize nutrient absorption. Fermented vegetables such as sauerkraut, kimchi, and pickled cucumbers are rich in live probiotic bacteria that colonize the gut, supporting a balanced microbiome. A healthy microbiome suppresses pathogenic bacteria, reduces lipopolysaccharide-induced inflammation, and enhances the production of short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which nourish the intestinal lining and maintain tight junction integrity. By repairing the gut barrier, these foods prevent the leakage of inflammatory compounds into the bloodstream, lowering systemic inflammation that otherwise blocks fat burning pathways and disrupts hormonal regulation. Bone broth complements this effect by providing high concentrations of collagen, gelatin, glycine, and proline, which supply the structural amino acids necessary for repairing the mucosal lining of the digestive tract. This supports intestinal permeability reduction, allowing the gut to function as an effective barrier and enhancing the absorption of vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients critical for metabolism. When the gut lining is compromised, even nutrient-dense foods are poorly absorbed, leaving the mitochondria undernourished and energy production impaired. By restoring the gut, bone broth ensures that cellular energy systems receive the raw materials they need for efficient ATP production and fat oxidation. Together, fermented vegetables and bone broth create an environment in which inflammation is lowered at its source. Fermented foods regulate immune activity in the gut-associated lymphoid tissue, reducing the chronic activation that drives insulin resistance and metabolic imbalance. Bone broth's amino acids further support detoxification pathways in the liver, allowing the body to remove inflammatory metabolites efficiently. With reduced inflammatory burden, mitochondria operate more efficiently, producing energy without excessive reactive oxygen species, and fat cells regain the ability to release stored energy for fuel. This combination accelerates fat loss, improves hormonal signaling, and supports steady energy throughout the day. Gut healing also has a direct impact on appetite regulation and metabolic hormones. A balanced microbiome produces metabolites that signal satiety, regulate leptin and ghrelin, and stabilize blood sugar. When gut permeability is repaired and pathogenic overgrowth is reduced, these hormonal signals normalize, preventing overeating, sugar cravings, and the metabolic stress that drives visceral fat accumulation. Individuals often notice rapid improvements in digestion, reduced bloating, and more consistent energy when these foods are incorporated regularly, reflecting the restoration of metabolic efficiency at the cellular level. Practically, including a serving of fermented vegetables daily alongside a cup of nutrient-rich bone broth provides both the live probiotic support and the structural amino acids necessary for intestinal repair. Consistency is key, as the microbiome and gut lining require regular input to maintain integrity and function. For those experiencing fatigue, hormonal imbalances, or stubborn fat, this duo provides a root cause intervention rather than a temporary fix, addressing both the inflammatory and metabolic foundations of health. By repairing the gut lining, enhancing microbiome diversity, and supplying critical amino acids, fermented vegetables and bone broth lower systemic inflammation, optimize nutrient absorption, and restore metabolic efficiency. These biochemical and cellular improvements translate into enhanced fat oxidation, better hormone regulation, stronger immunity, improved digestion, and higher energy levels. The synergy of these two foods makes them a cornerstone of any program focused on reducing inflammation, supporting fat loss, and promoting longevity, demonstrating how gut health is inseparably linked to overall metabolic and cellular vitality. To maximize the benefits of these 5 powerful foods, the key is consistent, strategic incorporation throughout the day, creating a metabolic and anti-inflammatory environment that promotes fat burning, cellular repair, and steady energy. Start the day with a protein and nutrient-rich breakfast that includes 2 to 3 pasture-raised eggs. Eggs provide the amino acids, B vitamins, and healthy fats needed to stabilize blood sugar, support mitochondrial function, and trigger satiety signals that reduce mid-morning cravings. Pairing them with fiber-rich vegetables such as spinach, tomatoes, or bell peppers not only adds antioxidants, but also slows glucose absorption, enhancing metabolic stability. For added mitochondrial support, consider a small portion of avocado or olive oil, which provides healthy monounsaturated fats that improve nutrient uptake and maintain energy levels. Mid-morning or as part of lunch, include a serving of fatty fish such as salmon, mackerel, or sardines. Even 100 to 150 grams provides substantial amounts of EPA and DHA, reducing inflammatory cytokines and protecting mitochondria from oxidative stress. Pairing fatty fish with leafy greens or cruciferous vegetables like broccoli enhances antioxidant synergy and supports detoxification pathways. For optimal results, consume fish at least 2 to 3 times per week, alternating with eggs on other days to maintain daily protein and nutrient balance. This combination of protein, omega-3 fats, and antioxidants fuels fat oxidation and stabilizes metabolic hormones throughout the day. Lunch or dinner is an ideal opportunity to incorporate broccoli, either lightly steamed or raw, to preserve sulforaphane and other bioactive compounds. Including broccoli with healthy fats, such as a drizzle of olive oil or a sprinkle of nuts, enhances absorption of fat-soluble antioxidants and supports cellular repair. Regular consumption boosts glutathione production, lowers oxidative stress, and strengthens mitochondrial efficiency, translating into improved energy, better fat burning capacity, and slower biological aging. Pairing broccoli with eggs or fish in the same meal further compounds anti-inflammatory and metabolic benefits. Fermented vegetables such as sauerkraut, kimchi, or pickled cucumbers can be added to lunch or dinner as a side dish to provide live probiotics, improve gut microbiome diversity, and reduce intestinal permeability. Bone broth can be included as a beverage or incorporated into soups during any main meal. The amino acids in bone broth support mucosal repair in the gut, enhance detoxification pathways, and supply the building blocks for collagen synthesis. Together, fermented vegetables and bone broth repair the gut lining, improve nutrient absorption, and lower systemic inflammation, creating an environment where the other foods can act more efficiently on mitochondria and fat-burning pathways. Portion guidance should remain practical. Approximately 1 cup of vegetables per meal, 100-150 grams of fish, 2 to 3 eggs, and a small bowl of fermented vegetables daily. A cup of bone broth can be consumed once or twice daily. Timing is flexible, but consistency is critical. Spacing these foods throughout the day ensures steady nutrient supply, stable blood sugar, and sustained energy. Combining protein, healthy fats, and fiber in each meal amplifies satiety and reduces the likelihood of overeating, while pairing antioxidants with fats enhances cellular uptake and mitochondrial support. Early signs of progress may appear within days. Many individuals notice reduced bloating, steadier energy levels, decreased cravings for sugar or processed foods, and a gradual flattening of the belly. Improved mental clarity, better sleep quality, and enhanced recovery from physical activity are additional indicators that metabolism is stabilizing and inflammation is dropping. To amplify these benefits, it is essential to minimize inflammatory triggers such as refined sugars, processed oils, alcohol, and gluten if sensitive. These compounds can undermine the cellular repair and anti-inflammatory effects of the 5 foods, so removing them creates a synergistic effect that accelerates metabolic restoration and fat loss. Building this routine into a sustainable, realistic pattern ensures long-term results. Prepping meals in advance, keeping fermented vegetables on hand, and alternating fish and eggs allows for simplicity without compromising nutrient quality. Over time, the body becomes increasingly efficient at burning fat, repairing cells, and maintaining energy, making the incorporation of these 5 foods not just a temporary intervention, but a permanent foundation for metabolic health, inflammation control, and slowed aging.